What is up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well today. As you guys can tell by today's video title, today we're doing another video where I test whether Shein and Temu are selling the same product. Both Shein and Temu are absolutely notorious for using the same product photos, but are they actually selling the same product? That is the question we're going to be answering today. And if you guys like this video concept, I have done countless of episodes on this series, so if you guys want to check them out, I'll link the whole playlist right there. Today I bought shoes, dresses, coords, coats, you name it. We're going to be trying them both on side by side, and this is essentially a battle of the brands. Who did it better? If you guys are new here and you guys haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Roxy, welcome to my channel. If you guys want to stick around, be sure to subscribe down below. But if you guys want to see which brand is really better, is it Temu or is it Shein, then without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so starting out, the first thing I'm gonna say is that this is the Shein side and this is the Temu side, just so that we don't get confused. So the first item we're gonna be trying out is this dress from both the websites. As you can see, they both used exactly the same photo. However, they did vary in price point. So on the Shein side, this dress was £11.85, whilst on Temu, it was actually more money. It was £14.73. And that in itself is already quite interesting that the price point is so different. So here is the item, and as you can see, they are both very different. You can just tell by the color. Like, I am shook at the difference right now. Let's open up the Shein side first. So this is what the dress is looking like. I mean, comparing this to the photo, it's exactly the same color. It looks the part, and the quality is, you know, pretty decent. It's then got the bow in the back, which I feel like is the selling point of this dress. It's just so cute. And then we have the Temu side. Let's see how this compares. Honestly, I am absolutely shocked at the difference. Like, the quality is so much thinner than the Shein version, and the color and just in general, like the gingham print is just so weird on this dress. If you look at it up close, it just looks so obviously printed onto the fabric. And yeah, it's like so strange because this looks like it should be gingham, but it's just made of like a really cheap polyester, and the actual gingham texture is like printed onto the fabric, whereas this one you can actually see that it's woven. Like, it's actually a woven gingham texture. I've got to say, side by side, I am genuinely shocked at the difference. I really wasn't expecting there to be such a vast difference between these two items, but this is crazy. This is what the back looks like as well. I would say the bow is a little bit thicker on the Temu side, which is interesting, but still, I way prefer the Shein side. Like, in terms of the color and the style, everything about it just feels better quality, so that's interesting considering it was the cheaper one. I guess let's try both of these dresses on side by side and see which one we prefer. Alright guys, so here's the very first dress and what it looks like on. I've got to say, I'm genuinely in love with this. It looks exactly like the photo and it has exceeded my expectations. For the price that we paid for this dress, it is a really nice quality dress. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I am not able to tie the bow perfectly as the photo was, but that is user error, okay? I feel like whenever it's down to tying a bow, that is where my downfall is. I'm just not good at it. So please don't judge the dress based on that. I'm sure it would be a lot better if someone else tied it for me. But yeah, the front of the dress is really nice. I like the way that, you know, having that bow in the back, you can really snatch the waist in as much as you like, and it just makes it a little bit more versatile. I feel like this dress is so autumnal as well. I could totally layer under this with like a turtleneck and it would just look so cute. So the Shein version so far I am loving, but let's see what I think about the Temu side. Here is the Temu version. I've got to say, this in comparison just does not even have a chance. I feel really bad for saying it, but this really does feel like the Temu version of something else. Like, it's just so bad. And I think in comparison to literally the same piece of clothing, but like so much better quality, it just exacerbates how bad this is. Literally the only good part of this dress is the bow in the back. Like, the bow is actually a really decent fabric, and I actually will go as far as say that the bow is better quality than the Shein one. It's just that everything else is not, and that is where the downfall is. If this fabric was exactly like the Shein one and it had this bow, it would have won, but it's the fact that this just feels so bad quality. I just cannot give it to Temu. So once again, I feel like Shein definitely wins this one. Moving on to the next item, we're now going to be trying out this little like cardigan. It's a zip up kind of jacket, I want to say, and this one will have you guys shook because the price point is so different. So over on Shein, this was £19.54, while on Temu it was literally £9.66. That is £10 difference, which is quite substantial, especially if this is the same item. I mean, they literally use the same photo, so you would expect it to be. In reality though, this is the difference. I mean, right off the bat, the fabric is completely different. It's a different color and texture. Let's just open up the Shein side first. Okay, here is the Shein side and what it looks like. I'm loving the faux leather collar so much. And the actual fabric quality is really nice. It's very soft, very thick. The zipper looks really good as well. Let's see how smooth the zipper actually is. Okay, that's pretty smooth. So yeah, this I feel like definitely looks just like the photo, but let's check out the Temu version. Here it is. I mean, fabric-wise, I can already tell this is gonna be so different. Okay, wow. This is the Temu side, and I'm gonna say that the quality of this definitely feels a lot thinner, which I'm not surprised, judging by the fact that obviously this was £10 less, so yeah, it makes sense. Temu is clearly trying to undercut Shein by trying to make this £10 less and making people believe that you're gonna get the same item where clearly you won't. Let's check out the zipper and see. Okay, it's pretty smooth, but I will say it doesn't go all the way up, like it's stuck. This last bit here, it won't go up, which is interesting. I don't know why. There's literally no reason as to why that would happen. I'm trying to pull it so hard. Okay, there we go. I've managed to zip it up all the way. I do actually like the color of this a little bit more than I do of this. I feel like this is just a more neutral kind of beige, whereas this one kind of has like a peachy undertone, which is more closer to my skin tone. Here is the side-by-side comparison. I mean, there's no denying it. The Temu side definitely looks and feels way cheaper, and the zipper doesn't glide anywhere near as smoothly as the Shein side. But let's go try them on side-by-side and see how they fit. Okay, so here's the Shein side. This is how it's looking. I've just paired it with a pleated little brown skirt to kind of complete the vibe. And I feel like this collar just goes perfectly with it. I will say the quality of this feels so nice. It feels very, very thick and cozy and not scratchy. I love the fact that you can obviously have this open like this, or you can do it up all the way if you want to be extra cozy. And I've got to say, this looks exactly like the photo. I like the length of it. It is just really, really nice quality. So I'm giving this a huge thumbs up. I really wonder how the Temu side will compare to this. Honestly, I was really hoping that when I put this on, I would have felt like it's on par with the Shein one at least, but I have to say, this is, again, way worse than the Shein version. Not only are the sleeves kind of short, like that is not okay. The zipper doesn't want to go all the way up to the top. It is so stiff, like I literally cannot do it up. The quality just really isn't as thick as the Shein side, but I will say, color-wise, I do prefer this color. Just like I said before, I feel like the other one should have been this color, but that's just a minor detail. I would obviously pick the Shein one over this any day just because of the quality. The length of this one is nice, but all in all, the Shein side wins once again. The next item we're gonna be trying out is kind of like a cardigan top again. It's like a knitted texture, and I've been seeing this item literally everywhere. So the Shein side cost £16, while Temu cost $15.77, which is basically the same. First up, let's unbox the Shein version and see if this one is any different. I mean, so far the first two items have been so different, which makes me so surprised. So I'm kind of expecting one of these items to be at least the same, and it could be this one. So this is the Shein version. I absolutely love the peplum effect on this sweater. I was wrong, by the way. This isn't a cardigan. It's not zip up. I guess I was thinking of another item, but yeah, this is really, really cute actually. I love the little ruffles cascading down the sleeves. As you can see, it's just a very textured kind of item. I wouldn't say it looks as good as the photo did, but it definitely looks cute. But let's compare the Temu version and see how that will compare. Okay, so it feels very similar in terms of fabric, but the Temu one actually feels thicker. Also, the Temu one has a button, which the Shein one didn't have. Let me just pop it on a hanger so you guys can really see the full effect. This is how this one's looking. So comparing them side by side, I feel like the Temu one has slightly worse shape to it than the Shein side. I just feel like this looks a little bit messy, whilst this one just looks a bit more structured. Also, the fabrics that these are made of are very different actually now that I'm looking at it. This one has like a thicker kind of ribbed knit, whereas the Shein one's a lot finer and like the little ridges of the ribbing is a lot closer together. As far as these items go, they definitely are way more similar than the previous two, so at least there's that, but they are still very different. So let's go try them on side by side and see which one we prefer. Okay, so here is the Shein version. I've got to say, this just doesn't really match the vibe of the photo. I was really hoping it would once I put it on, but I just feel like it looks kind of ugly. I'm super disappointed because in the photo, it just looks absolutely amazing. It's looking super glamorous and elegant, but here, I just don't know about these sleeves. Like, this just doesn't fall in the right way like it did in the photo. So that's something to consider. I mean, I don't really like this, I'm gonna be honest. But quality-wise, it does feel nice and thick, so I don't really have any complaints there. It's super cozy and warm, and I feel like if this had just been constructed in a slightly better way, this would have been really nice. But I will be real, I'm not loving the Shein side, so let's see if I like the Temu one. And this is the Temu side. Honestly, I'm appalled. I feel like this just looks like a super misshapen piece of clothing. It just does not pass the vibe check. I was secretly hoping that Temu would pull through just this once, but it really hasn't. I feel like somehow this is even worse than the Shein one, which is such a shame because I had high hopes for this piece of clothing. Like, the quality is not bad. The fabric feels really, really nice, but it's just the way that it's been actually made is really awful. And also this one, it is super tight around like the shoulders. So I feel like it's not really supposed to be worn as Bardot. I just can't get these bits to look right. I honestly feel like these look like little random flaps just attached to my arm, which is not the vibe. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I feel like I'm giving them both the same equal bad rating, which is 0. They both are awful. Okay, moving on to the next item. We're now going to be trying out this coord here, which is like a shirt and trousers kind of combo. It definitely has like a super smart casual kind of vibe to it. I fell in love with it. So firstly, the Shein side was £16.65, whilst the Temu side was £13.71. A couple of pounds difference, and this is how they are looking. Color-wise, through the packet, they don't look too dissimilar, so hopefully these will actually be the same. Okay, first item is the top half. So this is the Shein version, and it's looking pretty good. I mean, it looks exactly like the photo. Granted, it's a little bit creased, but it has a really nice elasticated kind of band, which is rubberized here, so this doesn't kind of slide down. And the fabric quality feels pretty decent. We then also have the matching trousers, which look like this. I really like the white trim that kind of folds over. It almost looks like a shirt collar, in all honesty. And then we have the Temu version to have as comparison. So first things first, it feels a lot more flimsier, I'm not gonna lie. Also, the shirt didn't come done up, so I'm just gonna do that up now. Okay, this is how the Temu version is looking. It's looking super creased, and the fabric quality definitely isn't anywhere near as good as the Shein version. It's just super like thin and so prone to creasing, so I don't love it. It also doesn't have the rubberized kind of band around the circumference of the top like the Shein version did, so that's a bit of a shame. Let's see what the trousers look like though. They don't look too bad actually. They have the exact same kind of collared banding, although it does look like it's not like in the center, which is kind of annoying me. Here, I feel like this gap here should have been further over this way so that it's central with like the crotch. This is gonna annoy me because I'm very particular about things being central, so that's annoying, but let's go try both of these outfits on and see which one we prefer. All right, guys, so here is the Shein outfit first. I absolutely love this so much. It literally fits like a glove, and now that I've steamed it, it definitely looks so much better and so much more expensive. I think that is definitely the takeaway from any time I do Shein hauls. The clothing from Shein can sometimes look pretty bad depending on what fabrics they're made of, but as soon as you steam them, they just look 10 times better. And that is definitely the case with this outfit. I just love it so much. It fits me really, really nicely on the top half. This rubberized band is doing its thing because I feel so supported in this top. Like, I don't feel like this would fall down throughout the day. And the trousers are so nice as well. They're really, really flattering. I really like the little collar thing on the waistline of this. Obviously, with the top overhanging it, you can't really see it that much, but I feel like you could obviously wear these on their own with like a tank top and it would be such a cool look. So yeah, fit-wise, quality-wise, I am impressed with this set, but let's see what I think about the Temu one. Now, the Temu side, I don't love it quite as much as I did the Shein version. I don't think it's bad by any means, but I just feel like obviously having the direct comparison, quality-wise and just structurally-wise, it is just way worse than the Shein one. I mean, even little things like this little collared section, it like sticks away from the top and I just can't get it to stay down very well. Also, I feel like the actual collared part here is nowhere near as like thick as the previous one. Like even the width of it there, I feel like the Shein one was just slightly like wider and more prominent. The way that the Bardot section fits, I feel like these parts here want to constantly go down, and then this part makes it look like it's doing this, it's going upwards. So I feel like I'm constantly having to like readjust myself, and I feel like I didn't have to do that with the Shein version. The trousers are perfectly fine. I do still get a little bit annoyed by this part here being slightly off center, but it's also not the end of the world because I mean the top does kind of cover it. But yeah, it's just the principle, just things not being quite right is definitely something to consider. But other than that, I do think they are similar in terms of obviously style, but as far as quality goes, Shein definitely wins this one. Now, the next item we're going to be trying out is really super cool because it is like a 3-in-1 kind of item. It is this coat here, which is like a trench coat, but it's kind of like a hybrid because you can actually wear it in 3 different ways. You can wear it as a full-on like trench Mac coat, or you can wear it as a short jacket, and lastly you can wear it without the sleeves, which is basically just like a long kind of sleeveless cardi situation. I just loved the versatility of this piece. I feel like you could just have one coat and just wear it in so many different ways and it would feel like you have multiple pieces of clothing, so I love that idea. So over on Shein, this coat was £26, whilst on Temu it was 25, so not too much difference in price. I have them both right here, and as you can see, the colors are so different. Firstly, let's take a look at the Shein version. It is made in this like super gorgeous taupe kind of color. Looking at the photo, this is exactly the same as the photo claimed, so let's take a look together. Okay, so the way it has arrived, it's already assembled in the short version of the jacket. I love this. It is super thin, I'm not gonna lie, but to be honest, coats like this are more meant for like spring when things are getting a little bit warmer. I mean, you could be wearing it right now in this weather as well when it's autumn, and I think it still would be okay as long as you layer under it. But yeah, I really, really like this. I love the color and the style. You then get the belt with it, and then you also get this, which is the rest of the coat basically. It basically is then just a sleeveless, long kind of cardigan, throw over. I don't really know what to call this. It still has like the collar sort of aspect to it, and the way you wear them together is you just overlay this over this. I feel like this is just such a genius idea, and more clothes should be like this where you can wear them in different ways. Now let's take a look at the Temu side. I feel like this is definitely a lot lighter in color. This is like a beige, whereas the other one was like a tan. So perhaps they do this in different colors and maybe they just sent me the wrong version, but like this is clearly very different shades. So this is the jacket from the Temu side. It is in dire need of a steam. Look at the collar. It is so bad. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to give this a steam, but this is how it's looking. I liked the little tortoise shell buttons. Did the other one have that? Yeah, the other one has exactly the same buttons, so at least that's similar. It then also comes with the belt and the little sleeveless throw over to make this a full-on coat. Again, it's gonna need a steam, but you guys get the picture. Let's go try both of these on together and see how they look. All right, so here is the Shein coat and what it looks like on. I've got all the layers on, and basically the way this goes together is you put on the long sort of thing on first, and then you put the short one over the top, and it creates this sort of layered kind of effect, which most kind of trench coats have anyway. I've got to say, now that I've steamed this, this does look way more luxurious and way more expensive than it really was. So again, steam your Shein clothes. That is definitely my biggest tip. This is how it looks all done up. It does look a little bit strange. I feel like you can tell that these two pieces are not joined, and I feel like that's kind of strange. This coat does have pockets, which is great, and yeah, this is how it's looking. So when I take this layer off, this is literally all it is underneath. Not really much to it, but I feel like, yeah, you could totally wear this as a little throw over. And then lastly, I will also show you guys how the shorter version of the coat looks like on its own. I feel like this is just so cool. You can wear this coat, this one piece of clothing, in 3 different ways, and I just love that. But now let's see how the Temu version compares. Okay, and here is the Temu side. I've got to say, I really like the shade of this one just as much as the previous one, so I'm not too mad about them being slightly different, but obviously, if you're buying a coat that has a particular color on the photo, you want to have it that color. I feel like morally, it's just wrong to mislead the buyer to buy something and then it's a different color. But anyways, I'm not mad at it too much. I will say that they are very, very similar, but the fabrics that these are made from are definitely different. I'm not going to say that one is better quality than the other, because to be honest, I feel like quality-wise, they're on par with each other. And I might be going crazy, but I feel like this, the underlayer, the way that the collar kind of sits is slightly different shape. But let me know in the comments if you guys think that. This is how it looks open, but let's also see how it's gonna look if I do it up. Okay, I feel like that looks pretty cute, but let's do it up all the way. Okay, here it is fully done up. Which one do you guys think looks better? Is it this one or is it the Shein one? The pockets on this one are a lot deeper actually. I really like the pockets. Okay, now let's see how it looks without the shorter jacket over the top. This is how that looks. So obviously you could wear it open or you could do it up. And then lastly, let's see how the short jacket looks on its own as well. Here is how that's looking. To be honest, I like both the Shein and the Temu one equally. I don't really know which one is winning this one, so that's where you guys come in. Let me know, do you prefer the Shein version or the Temu version? Okay, moving on to the next item, we're now going to be trying out a pair of shoes, which I'm really, really excited about. It is this pair here. They're a pair of boots, and again, I just absolutely loved them because they have like a dual kind of use. They are actually convertible boots, so they could either be worn as knee-high boots or as ankle boots. So these were both almost 18 pounds, which makes me think that these are gonna be probably exactly the same. I feel like shoes and accessories are probably more likely to be mass-produced in the same factory using the same materials, but let's put it to the test anyway. So first up, let's take a look at the Shein version. Here they are. This is how they look. They look so cool. I really, really like the buckle, and the fact that it kind of overlaps the boot like this just looks so cool. Obviously, they then just have a little Velcro thing here, so you can take this part off and then it just becomes a little ankle boot. That is so clever. Now let's take a look at the same shoe, but this time from Temu. Here we are. This is the Temu version. Honestly, it feels exactly the same to me. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is exactly the same shoe. The buckles are the same. Everything's the same. That is actually mind-blowing to me that this is the first item that used the same photo for the listing, and it's the actual same product, like exactly the same. But again, let's try them on side by side and see what's going on. All right, so here are the boots. Oh my gosh, I love these so freaking much. They're so stylish and super comfortable. I will say though, they really smell. Like, you know that super artificial scent that like rubber shoes are made of? This is exactly how these smell. They smell very chemically, which is probably not great. I absolutely love the way that they kind of fold over the front, and they just look so cute. So I'm really liking these, and I will say they are exactly the same on both sides. Also, I want to show you guys how they look when you take this section off and it turns into an ankle boot. But once you do, this is how they're looking, and you basically get two boots in one, which I think is so cool. As far as innovation goes, I'm giving these shoes a big thumbs up. But let's also try the Temu version and see if they're exactly the same or not. And here are the Temu boots. I honestly feel like they look exactly the same, so there is no differences in terms of visual or just in terms of comfort. I would say they are on par with each other, so I'm gonna go ahead and say these are super comfy and they are exactly the same from both websites. And now the last piece of clothing we're gonna be trying out is actually a pair of jeans, which I've been eyeing up from Shein for ages. So over on Shein, this really cool pair of like cargo utility looking jeans was £18.77, whilst on Temu it was $22.99. Again, that's a few pounds different in price, so let's take a look at how different these are gonna be. I really wonder if they're gonna be the same or if they'll be different. So here we have the Shein side first. These are just so cool. I just love like the dangly bits to them. This is how they're looking. I will say I don't really know what's going on right now with this. I'm gonna have to take a look at the photo to see how this is supposed to sit. But yeah, they are so cool. I love the like different kind of patterns going down the leg, the frayed edges, and the color is really nice as well. It's got like a greeny sort of worn rustic look to them. As for the Temu side, this is how these are looking. These actually feel slightly thicker compared to the Shein ones, which is interesting. I can already see that there are subtle differences, like the shade of the denim wash is slightly different. This one has like a more greeny bluey tinge to it, whereas these ones are a little bit warmer. They kind of have like a brown look to them. Here's the comparison side by side. I mean, they are similar, but this one definitely has a different tinge to it. But as far as the jeans go, they look exactly the same. I guess let's just try both of these pairs on side by side and see which one we prefer. All right, so here is the Shein pair first. I really like these. The Shein pair is so freaking cool. I really like this tone of denim. I'm not really one to wear denim like this ever, so this is super out of my comfort zone. I don't think I have what it takes to style jeans like this because they're just way too cool for me. So excuse my very non-matching like shoes and jumper with just judging the jeans. I do really like the fit of them. They're super baggy and kind of low-waisted, which is not something that I normally wear, like I will say that, but I love the slouchy vibe of these. Like the strap hanging low is super cool, and yeah, they're just awesome. So I'm giving these a big thumbs up. And lastly, the Temu jeans. I will say they're nowhere near as baggy as the Shein version. Like just in general, they were so baggy on the bottom. I don't really know. I mean, I prefer the color of the Shein ones, but I prefer the fit of these ones. They just look a little bit more put together and just slightly better quality in my opinion, which I didn't think would be the case because when I held up the Shein version, I just way preferred them in the moment. It just goes to show you really have to try things on to really know whether you're gonna like it or not, because I way prefer these to the Shein ones. All right guys, so that was all for today's comparison video. Do we think that Shein won or do we think that Temu won? I feel like some of the items, the Temu side did have certain good qualities that were slightly better than Shein, but in terms of like the quality and the accuracy comparing it to the photo of the listing, I think Shein definitely had it in the bag. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Whether you're considering shopping on either Shein or Temu, perhaps this will help you guys out. Let me know which one of these items was your favorite as well in the comments. As always, I'll have all the links in the description to both of the listings. But that is all from me. Thank you guys so much for being here and watching this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye! Mwah.